%26% on the nation report card. That's the percentage of US 12th graders who are proficient in math. In America, we pride ourselves as being a exceptional country. But does 26% sound exceptional to you? Raise your hand if you think as a country we need to do way better than this. I'm with you. We all need math, but why are so many kids confused by it? Is it because only 26% of people are hardwired for math, while 74% are not? After working with 1,000 kids, I can tell you this isn't the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching it as a humanized subject. But if we make human again, it will start make sense again. You're probably wondering how was math ever human in the first place, so think about it. Math is a human language just like English, Spanish, or Chinese because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in ancient times, people needed the language of math to count the trade, to build the monuments, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math as a language is not exactly new. A great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agrees with me. But somewhere along the line, we've taken this language of math, which is about the real world around us, and we abstract it beyond recognition, and that's why kids are confused. Let me show you what I mean. Read this 3rd grade California math standard and see if it makes sense to an 8-year-old. Understand a fraction 1/b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole partitioned into b equal parts. Understand the fraction a/b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1/b. And if you give this description of an 8-year-old, you'll probably get a reaction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense. But to a kid, it's absolute torture. I choose this example specifically because fractions are foundation to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So if kids don't understand fraction in elementary and in middle school, they've got to grow ahead of them in high school. But is there a way to make fractions simple and easy for kids to understand? Yes. Just remember that math is the language and use that to your advantage. For example, when I teach 5th grades how to add and subtract fraction, I start with the apple plus apple lessons. First I ask, what's 1 apple plus 1 apple? And kids will often say 2, which is partially correct. Have them include the words as well since math is language. So it's not just 2, it's 2 apple. Next is 3 pencil plus 2 pencil. You all know that pencil plus pencil give you pencil, so everyone. How many pencils? 5 pencil is right, and the key is you include the words. I tried this lesson with my 5-year-old niece once. After she added pencil and pencils, I asked her, what's 4 billion plus 1 billion? And my aunt overheard this and she scolded me and said, are you crazy? She's in kindergarten. How's she supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? Aunt then said, my niece finished counting, looks up and says, 5 billions? And I said, that is right, it is 5 billions. My aunt just shook her head and laughed because she did not expect that from 5-year-olds. But all you have to do is take the language approach and math become intuitive and easy to understand. Then I asked her a question that kindergarten are definitely not supposed to know. What's 1/3 plus 1/3? And immediately she answered 2/3. So if you're wondering how could she possibly know that when she doesn't know about numerous denominators yet? You see, she was not thinking about the numerous denominators. She thought of the problem this way. and she used 1 apple plus 1 apple as her analogy to understand 1/3 plus 1/3. So if even kindergarten can add fractions, you better believe that every 5th grader can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her a high school algebra question. What 7x squared plus 2x squared? And this little 5-year-old girl correctly answered 9x squared. And she didn't need any exponent rules to figure that out. So when people say that we are either hardwired for math, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we all have the ability to understand it. We need to take our language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and are anxious about math, and it doesn't have to be that way. I worked with angry, frustrated high school student once who called her algebra because she only knew 44% of her multiplication facts. I told her that's like trying to read and only knowing 44% of the alphabet is holding you back. She couldn't factor or solve the equation, and she had no confidence in math. As a result, this teenager had no confidence in herself. I told her, we have to test with multiplication because once you know all your facts by heart, everything gets easier, and it'd be like having a path to every ride of Disneyland. What do you think? And she said, okay. So she systematically learned her timetables in 4 weeks, and yes, even multiplication has language embedded in it. You'd be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3, which just means 3 7 times, just like this. So when they see it this way, they quickly realize that repeated addition is slow and convenient, so they gratefully memorize that 3 7 times always give you 21. So for this teenager who was at risk of dropping off, Tommy Flynn and confidence in multiplication was a game changer because for the first time she could focus on problem solving instead of counting on figures. I knew she had turned the corner when she figured out that a 2-year car lease at $445 a month would cost you $10,680, and she looked at me disapprovingly and said, Mr. Pasoli, that's expensive. At that moment, math was no longer causing problems for her, but she was using math to solve problems as a responsible adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to reach higher, so I leave you with this challenge. Our country is stuck at 26% proficiency, and I challenge you to place that number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking not only builds young minds, but our kids need to imagine and build a future that does not yet exist. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as A plus A plus. Insist that we teach math as a human language, and we will get there sooner rather than later. Thank you.